The disturbing discoveries of unmarked graves has rattled a lot of people, especially survivors of residential schools. CTV's Binder Center reports on some people helping those who lived through those horrific experiences cope.
After the discovery of 215 unmarked graves in Kamloops, the Indian Residential School Survivors Hotline was inundated with calls for help. Then came another grim discovery of 751 graves in Saskatchewan.
You knew it was there, but the number was very overwhelming.
And that's for Angela White, who runs the line. Staff quickly set up a 24-hour crisis line for survivors. Those calls go to people working from home during the pandemic, and each caller's need is different.
Some people actually are finding it easier to share their story or wanting to share their story. Others, of course, there's going to be trauma inflicted upon their childhood memories.
The North Vancouver-based service isn't the only hotline of its kind. It's fielding calls from all over North America as survivors seek culturally specific supports and referrals.
Understanding that it's okay to feel those emotions, the anger, the hurt, the pain, the sadness, bouncing right back to anger again.
The society that runs the line also provides programs and other supports. It gets some federal funding and is accepting donations as it looks to adapt to a growing demand.
There's a huge migration that happens every weekend to Kamloops Indian Residential School, and so part of our job is to ensure that we're there and the people that are showing up are safe, grounded in a culturally spiritual way.
White says through the First Nations Health Authority, survivors do have access to ongoing counseling to deal with the intergenerational trauma that lingers.
The worst tragedy that we can have after this is having those that do self-harm, because every single one of their lives is validated and does matter, and that they shouldn't have to continue to suffer.
Binder Sudgen, CTV News, Victoria.
And if you are a former residential school student in distress or have been affected by the residential school system and need help, the Indian Residential Schools Crisis Line is available 24 hours a day at 1-866-925-4419.